March 2020, a month that we will surely never forget for years. Did you ever imagine that a virus with a diameter of around 100 nanometers will take over the whole world one day? Did you, even in your wildest dreams, consider schools to be equivalent to a computer? None of us ever thought at the beginning of 2020 what we were getting into. And now COVID-19 has changed our lives to an unimaginable extent. March 2020, just like for everyone else, was a life-changing month for me too. Mid-March, I got a call from my best friend in New York and she said that she's flying back to Mumbai and she'll be taking all of her classes online now. I was shocked. I couldn't imagine what could bring a student back to their home country in the middle of a semester. And 2 days later, my university also officially announced the same thing, that they're shifting all of their classes online and international students can go back home if they wish to. My friend and I then took the next available flight to Mumbai. I had barely 30 hours to pack all my belongings lying in the dorm room, figure where I'll keep my extra luggage, and grasp everything that's happening around me. All of this seemed so hard and I felt like I was in a movie. Amidst all of that, I had to get a mask for the safety of my travel. I didn't know where to get one because before this we never needed one. My friend and I went to a few stores around, even the health department of our university, but masks weren't available anywhere. That's where I saw a huge rise in demand of masks, but there was an acute shortage of supply of it. This is where the crisis of today's talk comes into picture. Thankfully, somehow my friend managed to arrange for a few surgical masks just before our flight. That's when I realized that Canada, being a first world country, has a shortage of masks, then for sure India will face a similar problem. We are 1.3 billion people in this country and we already have so many issues like poverty, hunger, pollution, and sadly the list can go on and on. And what could go worse? COVID was another problem to add to that list. Now, comparing the population densities of the two countries, it was very evident that COVID is going to spread a lot more in India than in Canada. So masks were very important for everyone's safety. Anyway, after coming back, one day randomly at the dinner table, my parents and I spoke about my native, Dharwad in North Karnataka. My father spoke about the Khadi Association there and how my ancestors were a part of it. And that's when an incredible idea struck our minds to make masks out of Khadi. It was an opportunity lurking around the dire crisis of this deadly pandemic. Now, why is Khadi so beneficial for us in a pandemic? Firstly, it is highly eco-friendly and sustainable. It soaks only 3 liters of water as compared to other cotton fabrics that easily soak 55 liters of water. Secondly, Khadi is woven in such a way that it allows maximum air to permeate, making the fabric very comfortable, soft and breathable. And this is the problem I faced when I wore the surgical mask for the first time. So our next step was to connect with the Khadi Association there. They told us that they can make a mask for us out of pure Khadi. They also told us that they employ women's self-help groups to stitch for them. Now that conversation instantly made me happy because I couldn't believe that we were about to support these women to be self-sufficient during the lockdown when so many people in this country had already lost jobs. Now here I saw 3 concrete opportunities in this crisis. Firstly, embracing our culture and convincing people to use local products. Secondly, generating employment. And thirdly, probably the most important reason, helping the underprivileged. In order to now make these masks, I had to arrange for money. for how long would I have been dependent on my parents to help me donate masks? Which is why I came up with this fundraising campaign and raised around 1 lakh rupees in a span of 20 days with the help of my family and friends. Then I used that money to manufacture these sustainable masks. Now there came up a boulder. Transporting masks from Karnataka to Mumbai got very challenging because the state borders were shut. It was quite a helpless situation, and what we could do was go with the flow and wait patiently. After getting the masks to Mumbai, we persuaded people to use Khadi for its benefits and connected to many NGOs across the country. And with the help of them, we donated masks to the Indian Army, Mumbai Police, and so many slums in Maharashtra. And then we started selling these masks, used the proceeds to donate to the underprivileged and the needy. It got a bit demotivating at times when we couldn't sell as many masks, because we knew if we don't sell many masks, we won't be able to donate more. But we kept the momentum and we tried to help as much as we could. And I'm so glad that we didn't stop, because now we donate about 1,000 masks every month. As challenging as it was, it turned out to be a total success. There were obstacles and roadblocks to the journey, but the aim of helping people drove us since day one. A few months later, UN Women India recognized my work and gave me the National Runner-Up Women's Empowerment Award in the Youth Leadership category. And for me, that's a lot more than just an award. It's an evidence to everybody around the world that there are opportunities during a crisis. All you have to do is to look for them with a keen eye. My aim of sharing this story today was to tell you that there is hope in the most hopeless times. It only takes willpower and determination to make the path to your goal. Never blur your vision with a crisis. Try to help the underprivileged and the needy as much as you can. Because how are they going to survive if we don't support them? Especially in a crisis like COVID. We must look harder for opportunities, and we can only see them when we are looking for them. Thank you.